2017. I'm not going to get too much into it, but it was a very closed door app. It was restricted to like no more than 4 people at a time, and only people you already had connections to on Facebook. Next up is the most recent social VR project that I've worked on a large scale, which is Facebook Horizon, which is like the legitimate, probably biggest play at the metaverse that exists in the market right now. And by metaverse in this context, I mean like embodied, like, you know, co-located virtual spaces. And it's different from previous efforts I had worked on here in social VR because it's open world. Like, you're not limited to a specific set of friends. You're not limited to, and you could just log on and meet anybody. And that's really the goal of the metaverse. So what I've been doing at work is mostly leading a team that's responsible for the entire design system of this project, meaning like I handle all the interfaces and their look and feel. I'm going to quickly scrub through this trailer here. What I recommend is just going on YouTube or Twitch and finding some gameplay streams that'll like give you a better idea of the vibe of it. This trailer's a lot, so yeah. Well, it looks like the sound dropped on this. I think I don't have sound linked up to this. Oh. Trailer isn't playing well. That's okay. It's not a great trailer. We're gonna move on from this part. Trailers sound off, but like, you get it. Here's a bunch of people. They're having an absolutely glorious time. I'm just gonna narrate it for you. They're having a glorious time in VR. They're, you know, first-person shooter experiences and fun stuff with these little like Tamagotchi guys, etc. And like, everybody's really happy. Okay, yeah, you get the vibe. You don't need the sound. The purpose of this trailer is really, it paints this really lovely portrait of VR that's filled with like positive connections and blissful fun, and I'm very much not here to tell you about that, which is why that trailer is not important. It would be great if VR was all sunshine and lollipops like this, but like everything else in the world, it's not. There's a lot of shit to it. And VR has a lot of emergent social issues, particularly harassment. So, and specifically, I'm going to focus pretty heavily on sexual harassment here, because embodied sexist trolling behavior has become a burgeoning problem in social virtual reality. And because not everyone understands that or has experienced social VR trolling, I'm going to start with some role play. So, imagine it's your first time entering a social VR experience. So you're gonna set up an avatar real fast, and maybe you're choosing feminine characteristics because you identify as female. You choose an outfit that seems perfectly appropriate, and when you are done, you spawn into a space. You don't really know where you are, who's gonna be around you, and just as you're getting situated in this new environment, a bunch of avatars, they see you, they turn, they look at you, they notice you, they maybe notice that you're different. Strange avatars quickly approach you, they ask you inappropriate questions about the way you look in real life, they start touching and kissing you without your consent, you try blocking them, you open your dialogues and your UI system, you don't really know where to find that stuff, you realize you don't know how to block them, you don't know how to remove yourself from the situation, and you end up just sort of taking your headset off and fearing, you know what, I do not belong in this community and I'm never going to rejoin. And that's pretty not okay. And that description, I see like some people in the chat being like, this is such a thing. And I'm sure some people might think that it sounded really extreme, but it's really not. Like, that exact narrative was based on multiple accounts of avatar harassment that were reported in social VR applications by women in the last like probably 5 years. Specifically, it sounds a lot like the narrative that's described in a 2016 article by tech writer Taylor Lorenz, which pretty much everything I just mentioned happens to her. And that's like just the beginning. Less than 2 years after that, VR Chat publicly vowed to make safety a top priority after a female game designer shared a graphic recording of sexual harassment in one of their chat rooms. She is actually a former coworker. It was really brutal what happened to her. After that, a 2008 study conducted by Jessica Outlaw reported that nearly half of female identifying VR participants have had at least one instance of sexual virtual harassment. With that, Jessica Outlaw is a really great researcher in this space, and if you want to know more about the general landscape, definitely look up her work. So Andrea and I, the coworker that I mentioned before, decided to join forces as two female identifying designers working in VR and write a comprehensive research paper detailing all the dangers of virtual harassment from a scientific perspective and instructing readers on how to use the ideology of body sovereignty and consent to design safer virtual spaces from the ground up. So since then, that paper has been published as a chapter in a book on design ethics that was published by Bloomsbury Visual Arts, and it's also been backed by Facebook Research. So why did we feel like we had to take action on VR harassment? And the reason for that is that when you're in VR, interactions can feel incredibly real. And there's a word for this. The sensation of experiencing a virtual body as your own is called, naturally, virtual embodiment. As a person in VR, you really obviously know that what's happening to your virtual body is not actually happening to your real body. Your conscious mind knows these things, but having this virtual extension of yourself can actually produce incredibly transcendent effects. A really good example of this is, for those of you who know or don't know the rubber hand illusion, this is an existing experiment that has been done before outside of virtual spaces. And in the experiment, a visible rubber hand is placed in front of a test subject, leading them to believe that that is their own hand. So what they do is the person puts both of their hands out on a table. One of their hands is hidden below the table, and a sort of dummy hand is placed in its place on top. Both the dummy hand and the real hand below the table are stimulated in the exact way. And as the person watches the rubber hand become stimulated and feels the stimulation on their actual hand, they start to sort of adopt that limb into their body. And at some point, somebody comes with like a knife or another like really threatening object and goes to stab the hand, and everybody jumps back, even though they've just, it's just a rubber hand that's put in front of them. They've sort of adopted it. This experiment has been repeated in VR multiple times, and it always produces similar results. Essentially, when someone threatens or violates your virtual body, your brain can for a second perceive it as real, sometimes more than that. And this is particularly worrisome because harassment on the internet is obviously very much a thing. I think we all know that, from trolling in chat rooms in the 90s to like cyber stalking, bullying, everything that happens on social media platforms these days. When new platforms are established, generally abuse is followed. But because virtual embodiment in VR can feel so real, VR gives harassers really scary new ways to attack. So that's where our theory builds from. The realization that the desire to feel in control and safe extends to the virtual world. That sort of very human desire to feel in control and safe. And as designers, it's our duty to build infrastructure for spatial control, essentially allowing everyone to customize their experience and feel safe in VR and always feel in control. And this concept was probably so important and so obvious to us because as female identifying people, we think a lot about safety in real life. A really good example of this is this Jackson Katz experiment. So in the experiment, he asks men and women what they do on a daily basis to avoid being sexually assaulted. For women, the list starts with hold my keys as a potential weapon, check your back seat before I get in the car, don't drink too much, don't eat my drink, I don't have to carry mates, don't have you get it, this list. This is a third of the list, by the way. While for men, it's not really something that they think about. The standard answer that came up in all of the interviews was nothing. I do not think about this. So we knew it was important to look at this problem of virtual reality harassment from this very unique perspective as women in VR, and we started to look at consent language very specifically. We started this pursuit with primary definitions of consent, just like the one you see here, as all people should have complete ownership of their bodies and any interactions that should occur to them. This quote also comes from a yes means yes, visions of female sexual power, good. So we grew that practice of sort of finding definitions for consent and understanding consent very fundamentally into looking at body sovereignty as an interactive principle that could be applied and used to design safer social VR spaces. Our theory here was that we could digitize consent, essentially, and body ownership by looking at consent acquisition paradigms in the real world and then modeling virtual equivalents to those interactions. Okay, so that all seems well enough, but to do this, we were going to need structure. And the virtual world was lacking social structure at the time, and in a lot of ways still is. So what we did is we looked at work by anthropologist Edward T. Hall, who explored how people behave in different real-world spaces. And he divides those spaces into zones of distance from the body. These are Hall's zones of interpersonal space. And in the real world, each zone has an established code of conduct that offers explicit rules for which behaviors are acceptable and unacceptable. A really good example of that is just like, you understand that there are social codes when you go out into the world. You're gonna, like, if you're gonna go out to eat at a restaurant, you're probably going to wear shoes. You don't just randomly burp in people's faces when you're on the bus. Like you understand that there are social codes that exist, and VR don't have that. So we use these zones as a spatial scale to start dividing up virtual space, and then researched specifically how to build safety and comfort into each zone. So what I'm going to do now is dig into a lot of the specifics of the suggestions in the research by going through each zone and talking about consent acquisition models that we found that were relevant to each zone, and then looking at the VR equivalents that we suggested in the paper that people use. I'm going to tack another thing onto that, which is I had the opportunity to test all of these out in Horizon. So what I can do is like point to all of the examples in Horizon where we got this stuff running. So first, the first zone is intimate space, and that describes interactions that occur within arm's reach of your body. So very close, the closest possible distance. And to build safety in intimate virtual spaces, we've actually suggested that creators build granular controls that are surfaced before any interactions can begin at all. And the real world inspiration that this actually comes from is yes, no, maybe charts, which I will explain because not everybody knows what they are. These are procedures that are usually used by people in the BDSM community to set like a level consensual playing field before maybe more advanced play might begin. So the idea here is that you and a partner or multiple partners will sit down and write down all intimate acts imaginable that could happen in any way, and then categorize them into things that you would enjoy, things that you do not ever want to do, and things that you are not sure about. So cool thing about that is it sets status before you go in, so you can kind of like have fun and play and be creative while still understanding like what's on the table and what's not. So in VR, we tried to mirror this experience by allowing users to define their ideal VR experiences up front. So it was critical to us that people would feel in control. So during onboarding, we gave everyone the ability to customize various settings before entering their first social interaction. This new user experience will like quickly nudge a user to experiment with things like microphone controls, locomotion, and avatar experience before they ever meet anyone. So before you get a chance to have a social interaction, you've already defined exactly the sort of experience that you're interested in having. And this becomes really helpful with things like the personal safety bubble, where you can describe exactly how close people can get to you. I just saw a question about VR orgy rooms, and I will address that in a bit. But next up, we're going to look at personal space. And these are interactions that occur within 1 and 4 feet of your body. So in the real world, personal space could be described as like a shared household space, like a kitchen or a living room. And to build safety into virtual personal spaces, we actually looked at how medical practices will negotiate consent through nonverbal cues, particularly during clinical trials with deaf participants. Designers might incorporate similar communication gestures and easy access shortcuts to allow their users quick action remediation in tough situations. What that really means is like, So if the last suggestion we were talking about allowed people to define their ideal experience, what this suggestion does is allow people to get the fuck out of an experience if it's not going well, and not have to think super hard about how they're going to do that. Just press a button and they are removed, and not in a way that diminishes their experience. Because a lot of the time, remediation tools will diminish the experience of the person who is being harassed rather than the people actually doing the harassment. It's also really important that we made it so that the space that we had set up in Horizon that you're seeing a sort of video about would also allow people to just take a break. It sort of also works like a pause mode. So when you press this button that's like always available on your wrist, you're put into this sort of freeze frame land where it's just you and sort of frozen versions of all the avatars that were around. You've essentially just stopped time, and you can, take action and report any of those people, or you can just like chill until you feel better. Okay, now social space. So in the real world, a good example of a social space is like a workplace or a campus, like a college campus. Essentially like any space where it's kind of public, but all of the people who are gathered there are there for a specific reason. Like they have one unifying feature between them. And to make virtual social spaces safer, we actually can look at location-based unspoken conduct agreements. When we were looking through this for our book chapter, we actually researched rule sets that were created by colleges to prevent on-campus assault and the explicit reinforcement of those rules. What we suggest here is that designers introduce local behavior expectations in VR social spaces by creating conduct codes that are customized to the activities and expectations of a space, and then weaving them into the fabric of that space. And this is where I'm going to reach back to the person who said something about VR orgies. Here's the thing. A lot of times when I give this talk, someone pipes up and says, well, what if I want to go into a certain space that is not like scrubbed clean of all interactions? A specific question I got once was like, what if I want to go into a place where everybody greets each other by punching each other in the face? This system means that I can't do that. No, the system means you absolutely can do that. It just means you have to define the sort of conduct code of that space up front so that only people who are interested in being punched in the face as a greeting will show up. Because it only becomes unethical when you're allowing people to enter space that are not going to want to participate in the activities that go there. So conduct codes can be made to, and local behavior expectations can be made to, sanitize and streamline the activities of a space, but they can also be made to, set up more off the beaten path, like behavior expectations here. So this is another experiment that we did in Horizon. We have these reminders that pop up on loading screens of our conduct code, just to reinforce and remind people of the community values that are there. There's friendly signage also in like certain public spaces like the plaza. So you're always sort of being subtly reminded that there is expected behaviors in this space, and that if you are not interested in those expected behaviors, that you may be reported, or you might not want to be there. Okay, finally, public space. And guys, I'm trying to go really fast so that I can address anything that might come up in the chat after. In the real world, an example of a public space is really like a public park or a whole city, just really any place where you could potentially meet any kind of person. And to ensure inclusivity in public virtual spaces, we actually looked at real world law systems for inspiration. And we should consider comparably universal rules and behavior expectations for virtual violation and harassment. So this is the sort of one layer up stuff where we're saying that, yeah, spaces should be able to define specific rules within themselves for behavior expectations, but also there's certain things, just like in the real world, there's certain things that you just shouldn't do and you should suffer repercussions for doing, like murdering people. We have to have some form of accepted universal behavior expectations that are just sort of the baseline, like how to be human in VR. This is something we experimented with in Horizon, where our blocking protocol actually works on a system level. So if you block somebody in Horizon, you're actually blocking them on the Oculus system. And we just feel that a universally safe system that people are able to trust sort of requires this sort of universality. There are very few things that are happening on this universal level, but it's something that we as like creators of the metaverse really should think about. Cool. So that's the like major research rundown. And I just wanted to like say a couple things before I start to like wind down. And it's one, this is all probably seems super theoretical and not really relevant to you, but it's based on the understanding that we all already have of the real world. It's not really theoretical, you know, it's just we're pulling real things that exist that we use to navigate the world, and we're turning them into like virtual interaction paradigms. And this research itself was actually directly inspired by my own experiences as a person who has had their assault PTSD repeatedly triggered by virtually embodied experiences. If you're interested in reading the backstory and the art that I made about that, you can read my Medium article, Virtual Healing. That's the one that's on screen there. It's the journey of really like going to war with sexual harassment and social virtual reality, which, as I've described, has been a lot of my work for the last few years, but how it actually became something that was part of my healing process for getting over like real world assault trauma. Anywho, why is all any of this relevant to you? Well, because all of your creations, like with all of them, you are, whether you know it, whether you like it or not, like you're contributing to a larger vision for an eventual metaverse. Everything we do in the online space is really part of that. When I say metaverse in this case, I mean like a virtual multi-platform domain that will soon permeate our lives even more immediately than it currently does. And essentially, I'm really just trying to get out here and teach as many people as possible how to do something like this, which is see something wrong with technology and use your own lived experience to fix it. Because honestly, we're all in this. This is every creator's responsibility, because like a safe virtual future is in our weird little virtual hands. That is the end. Thank you for listening. I don't know how you guys do questions, if you do questions, but like, I don't know. I got 4 more minutes before I gotta leave to go to another thing.
Looks like we have one question in the chat. Awesome talk though. Thank you. Very relevant
Oh, thanks.
to the community. Are there ways to train for intervening if someone seems suicidal through VR? This was asked by Desired One.
Interesting. I almost want that person to give me more information, because I'm curious about whether this question is about like training AI or training actual like human representatives inside of VR. Oh, they're typing. Be both. Keep each other safe. So we've been doing experimentation with having guides inside of Horizon, and it's something that has been really helpful for a lot of VR applications, is to have people who are there as like human reps. Generally though, those people are responsible for like really top level stuff. They would be super out of their depth if someone came to them with this. I think in the future, there's a really good opportunity to take some of the sort of like suicidal content spotting, like algorithmic solutions and like content monitoring that exist on most social media platforms today, and begin to bring them into the virtual world. So that's not something that I have worked on, nor is like anyone that I know working on, but I can say that if we wanted to start doing that, we would probably begin with tracking behaviors first that suggested that. So like, yes, we could, this stuff is easier to monitor on social media platforms because everything is text-based and you can like scrub through all of the text. There are tough decisions about privacy that would need to be made here. But if you're going to monitor people for stuff like that, you're going to have to listen and transcribe everything that's being said, or have a like profile for what physical behaviors might suggest this as well. So there's a bit of a trade-off there to be had, and a conversation to be had that I'm interested in the future. Oh, there's more. Next, I'll just start reading some questions. If I skip some, I'm sorry, I just see one that's immediate. Do you feel like the implementation of some sort of VR spatial bubble would cut down on some of these boundary problems, or would they just happen in a different form? Yes, and most VR applications have a personal safety bubble of some kind. They do help cut down on the amount of like physically invasive behaviors that happen, and they really help out in that department. What they don't help out with is the sort of more cultural issues, which I think like most of this is dealing with, which is like, how do we actually prevent people from getting there to the point where they want to like, you know, force themselves physically on someone in VR? I don't see any more questions. Oh, yeah, thank you too. Thank you all for asking really cool questions. I really appreciated doing this. This is very fun. We are at a couple seconds to 3 p.m. on my time zone. So, oh, there's another one. Okay, I'll do one more and then I will leave. I promise I will leave.
It's awesome.
Cool.
Feel free to answer this question. This is such a great talk, Al. This is Matthew.
Oh, thank you so much. I very much appreciate it. I really didn't know how it was going to sit with this audience. So I'm very happy that it's functional. So final question before I run away. How do you define personal space actions that are positive versus negative, such as hugging versus harassment? So you allow the user to define them for themselves. And that's where that first point about like setting up the types of experiences that somebody wants to have comes into play, is that everyone's going to have a really different definition of like what's a good physical interaction and what's not, just like they do in the real world. So you give people the tools that allow them to define that upfront right away. Always return to them if they need to and they change their mind on how they want to be interacted with. Okay, I am shutting down the share. Cool. Well, that's it for me. Thank you all for listening so much. This is really fun.
Awesome. Thank you once again, Elle, for speaking with us. And thank you, Chippyogi, for inviting Elle to talk with us about this today. Great topic for the WIP. Important things like this need to be discussed. And I don't know, I'm sure some people would want to shy away from this, or they would say, oh, maybe some other time. But this is the perfect place, the perfect context right before a Metaverse meetup. And thank you once again, Elle, for sharing with us. Cool. So for everyone who doesn't recognize this voice, this is Matthew from Nifty Gateway. Can everyone hear me okay?
Sounds good to me, man.
Awesome, man. Currently in the process of adjusting my wearables back now that the wearable editor in CryptoVoxels is good. So I'll be hopping into CryptoVoxels in the Flix Theater very, very soon as I wrap up this intro. Shout out to Vandall and Gemini for hosting us at the Flix Theater today. And we have a great show lined up for everyone. Of course, we have Vandall and Gemini who will be wrapping up the show and taking us into the after party that they have planned in line with their I Want My NFT and their documentary that they've been working on for months and months and months. Can't wait to hear updates about that. Before we get to them, we have a mysterious figure named Rover who's going to be talking about a very, very, very cool project, totally out of this world, literally, called Mars 26. And we have Dave from Proof of Beauty coming back to give us some updates on that. Quick shout outs. Kinshasa and Easy hopped on the Matthew and Rizzle show recently and recorded a show about Cypher and music NFTs and talking about the transition from CDs to MP3s and now to NFTs. It's a really, really, really great listen. I encourage everyone to listen to it 2 or 3 times, actually. It's quite fantastic. Shout out to them and Rizzle. Dude, fuck Elon Musk. I'm sure he's impacted a lot of folks' net worth. I saw a crypto chick asking a question, how much of your net worth did Elon Musk evaporate the other day? Anyway, I always encourage sort of averaging out, averaging in, don't take too many risks. But with that said, and to stop anything that could be misconstrued as being financial advice, which that comment definitely was not, I'm going to pass the mic to my dude Rizzle so he can get us hyped up for the WIP today.
Yeah, you already know to DM Matt for financial advice. Don't let him trip you up. Let's see. Yo, big shout out to Ella Cortese. Just echoing what Matt said. It's dope that we have a community that can like sit here and have real conversations like this, because they are important. And especially with us being on like the forefront of this whole thing, we got to like set the bar high for ourselves and for the community that's taking shape. So that's what's up. My wearables are messed up. I didn't even know I could fix them. Everything's on backwards. So I'm rocking backward style for a couple weeks in a row here. Let's see, hang on. A couple things in the bullish or bearish channel, 2 channels down from this. We'll do the big WIP airdrop. You got 30 minutes to get it. I got the command right. I always got to double check myself. Got the command right. 2 channels down, the bullish or bearish. Make sure you get your POAPs. They should be in the event links. So, gather all your coin, get all your NFTs while I'm rambling here. Bullish or Bearish is the new show coming on tonight with Connie and My World. So super stoked about that. After the WIP, we've got the Cypher. Later on tonight, we've got Jack's Hideaway Jazz Night. And I wanted to announce that. I'll just drop a link here to the tweet because they actually have partnered up with us. They have like a homeless outreach program that feeds homeless people. And I wasn't even aware of it until a couple days ago. So from our fundraiser that we did in partnership with AlottaMoney and Love Handles, we actually sent a good chunk of those funds over there, and you can check out their YouTube video to see what's going on to help out with their homeless outreach program and feed some homeless people. And then I believe we're also collaborating with Rare Pizzas. I think they're matching a 1 ETH donation with us to feed homeless people a shitload of pizza. So it's cool that we finally found some like really great solutions within the community. That's right, Greg. We're gonna do it right. So as those things happen, we will certainly keep you guys updated because we appreciate your support. You are the ones who made this happen. I think Sandy and Love Handles are actually hiding down for a jazz night in Jack's Hideaway in California. That will be simultaneously live streaming here in Token Smart in like about a week or so. So look out for that. And it's all good stuff. So let's see. Yeah, get the WIP coin, get your POAP. I think that's just about everything. Yes, until I pass the mic off here. Obviously, big shout out to the crew. It takes a giant, bizarre family full of backwards wearables to make this happen. Easy, Paradox, Trippy Show, Timmy Tubador, Frankie Needles, the Boot in DCL, who just got a nice little home studio set up. Alex, Guts Berserk, GB, Grev, Conwolf, Cynthia, Roganex, Sandy, Dragonate, Trislet, Quigbell. Somehow Carolina Duh slipped off my list, but obviously the legendary Carolina Duh, who is making these POAPs and dropping links right now. So thank you all so much for all your hard work. And with that being said, I think this mic is going to Mars or something, right?
That is right. Rover from
surprise.
Mars.
I got to hand this to a robot or something?
A rover, actually. So I guess that's like a hybrid of a robot. Rover, if you're there, let's double check we didn't whack him. He's whacked, yeah. Unwhacking. There you go, Rover.
Hey.
There we go.
Yeah. So I'm Rover, and I'm working with 2 other guys on Mars NFTs. And shout out to Elon Musk. I'm sure he'll get reasonable in time again. But first, let me talk a little bit about us 3, about our background. So we've been working in crypto for a while. We did like a couple of NFT projects also. One maybe worth mentioning, Ready Cards back in 2019. We gathered a bunch of artists, sold NFTs, and sent the money to charity. We actually got one X copy, which now got pretty famous, and we just had to put down his NFT because you could mint it limitlessly on Ready Cards, and now his artworks are worth like a lot more than nothing. And we worked on different Ethereum projects and looking for that to create that real world impact, right? And in parallel, we got interested in space travel and in science fiction. We watched like the SpaceX Starship launches and just learned more about that stuff, right? And we noticed that actually it's realistic that humans will land on Mars in like 5 years in 2026, which is crazy. And nobody really thinks about it, although it could have like huge impact on humanity, on all of us, right? And not in like a negative way, which you would say of wars and stuff, stupid politics. But more like it's something that we can all be excited about, right? It's sort of a shared goal for humanity to land on Mars and create a backup of civilization, like you would create a backup of your photos on Google Drive, right? And we could start into like a Star Trek future and actually like, go towards the stars, and it's pretty cool. And we got excited, and we think there's more people excited, and we sort of wanted to connect that space community and the blockchain community, NFT community, and we just want to share that feeling, get more people excited about this, and make this whole space thing a success, right? So what we ended up doing was we saw that there's this missing piece, was to combine the latest images from NASA and ESA into like the highest resolution natural color images of Mars. And now we are minting them as NFTs. I can actually share my screen if that works. It doesn't, right? But you can go to mars26.com and you see a map which you can explore. And it's actually like the best, the highest quality map existing, because for some reason NASA and like even Google doesn't have a map that's that high in detail, although the images are there, which is pretty crazy. And we thought further how to get more excitement about space and how to actually experiment with blockchain tools that you might need to create like a new small civilization. And we came up with this idea to mint NFTs. So what we are doing now, we actually just started auctioning them today, is minting these NFTs, which are 2 square degrees of Mars each. They have unique traits. You will see they have mountains and craters and landing places and pieces from science fiction. And you can get them, and there's 3 different phases, right? There's this phase right now where you can actually put different art pieces on Mars and make it a complete mayhem, just put everything on there you want. And then after 7 days, we'll reveal and we'll start to enable you, got an NFT, to put your own NFTs on Mars and start your own art exhibit on Mars. And we see it similar to CryptoVoxels, I guess, where you guys sort of create this digital physical world, right? And you can actually get people excited about VR and stuff that way, right? You can sort of combine these 2 communities of VR and blockchain guys, and we want to do the same thing with space and blockchain NFT community. And I'm happy to take any questions and hear what you think about it.
That's your cue, show. Take it away, man.
Oh my God, so abrupt, like the Mars Perseverance dropping randomly onto the Mars surface like a month or so ago. What's up, Rover? How you feeling, man?
I'm good. You?
I am awesome. I'm incredible, since I get to talk about a fun subject with you. Got a bunch of questions. All right. First up is this. Mars, and by extension, space exploration, has always been a bittersweet thing for me. Human beings are exploring, we all know this, they're exploring space, but we're still centuries away from true space travel. It reminded me of my own mortality, and it also reminded me of one crucial question that I always needed an answer for. So please, if you can answer this, try your best, all right? Are aliens real, and are they living on Mars?
Yeah, I mean, like, the universe is so big, it's crazy to think that there's nobody out there, right? Like, it would be crazy that we are the only ones, but then, like, Mars, probably not. There were some old pictures of Mars where people thought there are some faces hidden, but then turned out like the quality was too bad and it just looked like a picture of a face. But definitely, man, and it's no reason to like get anxiety, right? It's pretty exciting for me, at least, and I want to share that. Like, it'd be awesome to get more people excited about it.
Yeah, I agree. I get excited when I see pictures of aliens all over the place. How do we determine the value of our Mars land parcels for exhibitions in regards to Mars 26? Is value attributed to location in regards to hemisphere, or actually lack thereof on Mars? I mean, the hemisphere is very, they're kind of extreme. Or is it more a matter of notable landmarks like Olympus Mons or that picture you said of the face on the Mars surface?
Yeah, so I would say I would prefer the images near the equator because they have the better features, and I think people would just prefer to live like near a nice mountain or crater, and we think about like making one layer and fill like half of Mars with water, right? Fill like everything up to 6,000 meters with water, and then you would get like a nice waterfront in front of the crater. So that's one thing. And then I see a parallel again to CryptoVoxels, where you could trade parcels, and then you might want to have one bigger one combining for smaller ones, right? And maybe you get lucky and have a nice neighbor, and you can combine your art collection, and that way get like more out of your parcel.
Awesome.
Makes
If anyone
sense.
else has any questions, for Rover, make sure you ping him in Discord. I'm sure he'll answer them out. Awesome project to introduce. I hope everyone gets a chance to go check it out. Rover, thank you so much for introducing us to Mars 26.
Thanks a lot for hosting, guys.
Cool. And then moving on, we're welcoming back Dave from Proof of Beauty back to the virtual stage at the WIP. I just popped into the WIP. I have a peg leg for some reason. My wearables are not adjusted properly. It's neither here nor there, but really excited to hear the updates on Proof of Beauty. So Dave, if you're there, and as long as you're not whacked, unmute yourself and take it away. Hey, Dave, we just unwhacked you.
Cool. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Cool. Nice to be back here. Speaking about Proof of Beauty, I believe it was about a few months ago since come on board, and we have a lot of things that's happened between then. Just to kind of intro myself, I'm David's son. Currently the founder / part of the core team of Proof of Beauty Studios, a studio very much so focused about creating interesting token experiences using NFTs. And here to talk about Hash, our first project and the project that kind of set us on the map. So Hash, I'm going to kind of give an elevator pitch here for the folks who don't know about us. Hash is kind of like the metaphorical coin machine, the coin pressing machine that you see at fairs, where you put a penny in, and then the penny gets pressed with some kind of I guess artwork. And in many ways, this penny hopefully is worth a little bit more than what it was before, because now beyond just a piece of utility, a piece of currency, it's actually a piece of culture, right? So Proof of Beauty's Hash is very much so that, but for Ethereum history. You can go on hash.pob.studio and you can try this out yourself. You could put in any hash that has happened on the Ethereum blockchain, any transaction, you put it in, and on the fly, we can generate you a generative piece of artwork, deriving all of its colors, its composition, its choice of texture, all from the actual transaction. So the gas price would affect the texture. The nonce value would affect how complex this drawing would be, right? So Hash, in many ways, is about how do we create a cultural representation of these units of history, and I think we can all speak highly about the complex and also very dynamic nature of Ethereum, right? We had DAO hacks, we had hacks even yesterday, and we have so many other more momentous moments, right? The 69 million sale at Christie's. There's so many different rich moments of history on the Ethereum blockchain, and we thought that like artists of the past, where they would draw or paint, the French Revolution, war photographers taking pictures during the Vietnam War, we thought that an NFT that does the same could be very thought provoking in the crypto space. So that's what Hash is, and between last time and now, we have since sold out our first kind of batch of our NFTs, and that was what we would call Season 0 Genesis. And I'm here back to kind of shill Season 1 saga to you guys. It is a new generative algorithm, if you guys have seen Season 0, and it's hopefully in many ways a culmination of all my experience as a generative artist. But yeah, it's the same kind of concept. You put in any transaction hash. It could be your own transaction. It could be the deployment of V3 of Uniswap, and you'll see this artwork, and people would mint these, right? So one transaction per one hash. So once it's minted, you would have to go to OpenSea to see if you want to buy it or speculate on its value there. And yeah, so so we have actually, through the hash.pob studio website, we've added a ton of product features, in many ways addressing some of the feedback we have received from Season 0. I think for one, a lot of folks love capturing their own history, their personal history, right? Like your first NFT sale, your first mint, your most profitable sale, right? But with Season 0, we were seeing that people were priced out because of its design. So we actually did in Season 1 is we created a discount model where if it's your own transaction from your own wallet, we would actually price it down to about 0.03 ETH. So if it's a historic transaction, as in a transaction not affiliated with you, it's priced normally. But for your own transactions, we hope to give you a very discounted price, in many ways, hopefully allowing you to create memorabilia for your time on Ethereum blockchain. And yeah, so we have that, and also we've introduced a batch minting feature. You can think of it as a shopping cart, but for minting. You can actually explore around on the website and add different hashes that you enjoy into this cart and mint them all in one go. That's been a feature I personally wanted for a while, and we thought that let's do it ourselves. And so hopefully you guys will enjoy that. And also, if you do connect your wallet, we do have this great feature called My Saga. My Saga, in many ways, you can think of it as the Spotify's year in review, but for your Ethereum history. So you can use My Saga, and we'll populate this collection, this gallery museum experience with with different moments of your history, right? So your first transaction, your first approval, your first error, things like that, right? So hopefully that also is a great way to experience your relationship with the Ethereum blockchain. There's a lot of other little nuances with Season 1 Saga, but hopefully that captures some of the bulk of the features. Feel free to follow us on Twitter, and we always post updates. We have a lot of interesting things we're planning in the future. We have a mural in Australia that's nearly done. We have a coffee book that we really want to be building that is not proof of beauty, but like Ethereum's history represented with hash NFTs, but in a book. We have designs that we want to be creating. There's a lot of different, I think, ways we can build on top of the hash project, and we're really excited about doing that and rewarding the hash owners for using your NFT to create more culture. Hopefully that kind of captures everything. If you guys are excited, please do follow us on Twitter. play around with our website. We have a Discord. Hop on there and happy to answer questions or DM me there. Hopefully that captures everything, and I'll leave it to the questions now.
This is awesome. When I first heard about Proof of Beauty and what you guys were doing, it immediately piqued my interest. I think I've cited this a couple times now, just when I had the first conversation with you about how you view like transaction as an atomic unit of history on the blockchain. It was just like, wow, what Dave and his team are going to be building out, it's going to be incredible. And to have you back today and hear about all the different initiatives, projects, and ways that you're thinking about building out, it just confirmed my belief that you for sure, and then the projects you're associated with are things to watch out for. But anyway, enough of that. I'll leave the questions to show.
Hey, Dave, what's going on?
What's up?
Welcome back. We have a question from Hidden Forces. Hidden Forces would like to know, how do we mint?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there's, I guess, many ways you can get to a transaction, but the key idea is you can go on Etherscan and find your own transaction. You can use My Saga and look through a curated collection of your transactions, and if you find any that has not been claimed yet or minted, you should hopefully see a pretty big mint button and the pricing according to that. And if it's fitting to you, and if the gas fees are accommodating, you can hit that button, and that will become an NFT. So hopefully that addresses your question there.
That's cool. Your previous speaker update was really compelling, and I always kept my eye on your project. Shout out to you, man. I'm just curious, from your perspective, what are some of the obstacles that you found solutions for in regards to POB's growth since you were previously here?
Yeah. We were very fortunate to have kind of rode a kind of nice viral bubble, if you will. People were really excited about the project. People were sharing it. And so that quickly allowed us to sell out season 0. And so with that, as a team, we were scrambling, like, oh gosh, we gotta work on season 1 very fast. And so when we released season 1, we definitely kind of had a gap of time where we weren't very active growth-wise, and that kind of led us to be quieter. And we're really, in many ways right now, trying to kind of re-summon the community, the spirit that people that I found really, really fun, which is people on Discord's like, okay, I'm going to try to hunt for this very specific transaction. Can anybody help me? Can anybody verify that this is, in fact, the most historical transaction? I think there was a lot of conversation about like which transaction was officially the first ETH2 transaction, right? Deposit transaction, because technically there was one that failed, and then there was one that was actually succeeded. So which one is first, right? And to see the kind of archaeological, archivist kind of thought around which, in fact, should we qualify as first. I think some of these conversations were really, really, really interesting, and we're really trying to kind of re-summon that spirit right now. And so with that, as in many ways a steward of this community, we do see a sense of responsibility to kind of empower mentors, curators, with different ways to evaluate the tokens that you guys own. So that to us is like a very big open problem, and something that, you know, comes with experience, and something that I hope to gain. And what we really mean by this, we're really, you know, working on how do we best create a way to evaluate these if you're not super embedded with the Ethereum space. So we're looking at how can we create a DAO that has historians that would verify, kind of like the Twitter blue checkmark, verify that these are in fact historic transactions. We have ideas around how do we actually get other artists to join and create different representations of these artworks, right? And we're collaborating with projects like NFT-Fi, NFT-20, and seeing ways we can also create great price flooring there. There's a lot of, it seems like a very hyper multivariate problem. And we're looking at how do we best serve our current community and also grow the larger community, right? I think sometimes these two may clash, but we're doing our best, and that's been very much so the hardest thing for me to learn. And yeah.
Last thing.
Yep.
If there was one thing that you would like for the WIP attendees to take away from your speaker update right now, what would it be and why?
Yeah, I hope really that I think Hash from the beginning was this project about how do we view our relationship with this blockchain a little bit differently. And so I'm not really asking for mints, more or less I'm asking is like, check out my saga, check out what your relationship is with this blockchain as visualized using the Hash experience, right? I really hope that folks connect a wallet, see what those are, and enjoy what people commonly attribute is I made money, I lost money, I was angry here, I got hacked here, to something a little bit more nuanced, something more with more emotions embedded because of the visuals, and so hopefully people use my saga to see their relationship with the Ethereum blockchain in ways that hopefully they previously haven't, and if you have, hopefully elevate your relationship with this blockchain.
It's awesome. Dave, I'm so excited for what you continue to build out. Keep letting us know whenever you have an update. Like you always have a place on the stage here for sure. Thank you so much for speaking with us today. Cool. And well, for everyone that's in CryptoVoxels, you're in the Flix Theater, and you're in the Flix Theater because Gemini Rising and Vandall are hosting the WIP today because of their project, I Want My NFT. I just unwhacked Gemini a little bit earlier. So Gemini, you should have your mic free to use if you unmute. And Vandal, same with you. So whenever you all are ready, let's take it away. Hey, Gemini, I can hear you.
Yeah, great. You can hear me. Wonderful. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. And I had a little bit of, I'm still trying to calm down because all of a sudden I have a lot of the stuff stored on Dropbox, and somehow my Dropbox broke and all the images to the artwork disappeared. So I was running around, I had to make a new Dropbox, and I was running around. Anyway, the artwork is back. So if I sound a little bit frazzled, that's why. Vandal, are you here too? Don't stress, is what he just told me. Anyway. Okay, can you unmute? I usually don't talk so much because Vandal is a lot better at speaking about things than I am. So I think he's going to kick it off. No? Is Vandal unmuted?
He needs to unmute himself. He's totally unwhacked.
Okay.
Yep.
You're...
Yeah, Vandal's done well.
I think he just wants you to keep talking.
Yeah, well. What? I have to keep talking for him while he's trying to figure it out. We're in the same room but far away from one another.
Okay.
So.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So you know what, because my computer is, a little old, and I don't want to be running like voice in Discord, and I didn't want to chop out or anything. So I was listening on my headphones on my phone, and I'm trying to unmute myself on the computer. Go figure, right? So here I am. We made it. Everything is nice and smooth, and thank you so much. Big shout out to the whole WIP fam, everybody in here, the whole crew, show, Rizzle, Matthew, Sandy, Dragonate, shout out to Jimmy, Trislet, Nate, everybody, and all the people. Easy, man, love you, bro. All the people in the place, much love and thank you. Yeah, this is so awesome to be crammed up into our little small little parcel. Shout out to Mars 26 as well, and Dave. Such awesome things. That's why I really love the WIP. It's a place where we can truly discover what's happening and popping off in this space. And I'm just like roaming through CryptoVoxels now, and it's like a mess of avatars. It's a good thing avatars don't have collision enabled, because we'd be pretty stuck. Yeah, so I don't know where to start. So Matthew, you wanna like maybe lay the table down, or should we just kind of dive in? What do you think?
Dude, one thing we
Dive
wanted
right
to
in.
do before we got
Oh,
started.
sorry.
Sorry, man. This is Rizzle just barging in.
Okay.
Paradox wanted to take a group photo to sort of like commemorate the event here. If it's cool, if everyone could like hop
Yep.
into CryptoVoxels, and we could sort of all gather. Everyone's sort of like a haphazard, like hodgepodge of like backward wearables, like naked avatars. But you know, we're just, that's memorable too, right? Someone get behind my caterpillar, and
Where do you
we
want
could pile
to?
in here.
You want to do it in the
Maybe
theater
just
area or the main room?
you call the shot, man. What's
Okay,
the
I
best
see
place?
everybody in
I
the
haven't
main
been
room
back to the
anyway.
theater.
Yeah, I see everyone in the main room. So let's just do the main room. Just face the little screen and the exit, and I think we can get Paradox like up front. There, I see Paradox. There he is. Awesome.
Also, I
He's Savage. Go ahead.
I didn't get dressed for this because I didn't have enough time, so I'm just a beige avatar right now. So
You're okay,
anyway.
Mom. It's all good.
It's all right. We accept all forms of nudity at these events. We're used to it. However, we will clothe you if you need some clothing. If anyone out there is naked and feeling ashamed, you don't need to be, but we'll hook you up. So don't hesitate to hit one of us up. Yes, Savage. A lot of them are on backwards. We don't know why, but you know, some of us are dressed backwards, naked. It's all good. Just pile in for the group shot.
Okay.
So,
I think I'm in the group shot, but I'm not exactly sure.
so okay,
Yeah,
so
Jamie?
I guess I'll kick things off if that's cool.
Yeah, do
All
it.
right. Okay, cool. So I'm Vandall. I'm the son of Krista, aka Gemini Rising, who's here on. Say hi, Mom.
That's me naked
Yeah.
over here. Yep, here I am.
I don't. Okay, great. I got my Google. Something is answering me over here. This is so weird. Technology is a weird beast, I tell you. But you know, I'm thankful for being here, and I thank everybody for coming through. This is a very sort of special moment for myself and my mom, Gemini Rising. And we've embarked on this mission of documenting the NFT space, specifically revolving around crypto art, which happened, I guess the idea came about like middle to late of last year when I was leaving Malaysia and I was coming back to Canada, and I was just thinking of different things that I could do, you know, with my mom and have some fun doing. And because we had both kind of been diving into the space, and you know, my mom particularly on the side of like getting back to creating art again, which I'm sure she'll talk about shortly. But you know, I thought that you know, it's a great thing that you know, we can have the opportunity to document this point in history, I guess, in the crypto art space. You know, moving through the beginning of this year until the hype cycle, which is really kind of unfolding now, and we wanted to do something that reflected the overall scene as well as, you know, people that we had spoken to, and the various different movements that were going on, and the platforms that were sprouting up, and just the whole atmosphere and vibe. We were hoping to kind of capture that through conversations with people in the space. So I Want My NFT was born, I guess, before we gave it a name. And it's funny story. I guess I'll talk about how the name came about. You know, I was just on Twitter doing my thing, looking around, scoping out new works, and I saw this piece by Pixelitist, and I looked at it, and it was like a play on the MTV logo, and I was like, hey, that's pretty cool, you know. So I picked it up and I bought the NFT, and then we were like discussing about the name for the film, and we were thinking about it, and I was like, oh well, this is I want my NFT, I want my MTV, and that just kind of came about, I guess, naturally with this use of the NFT, because it was an NFT, right? And then we had purchased the NFT, so we went and threw it in the Flix with our I Want My NFT MetaMask, so it's all in here. And we thought, okay, this is a great sort of play on not just play on words, but the play on the parody of MTV and the fact that this is the next generational movement, right? The NFT is definitely going to change the game generationally, I would say personally. So that's kind of just like a little story about the name. But Mom, I would like to hear from you, and for you to kind of give your thoughts on coming into this documentary. And I'll be the host. I'll be the interviewer for you.
Okay, great.
What were your thoughts coming into doing this documentary and working with me on it?
Okay, well, I'll just quickly say, Jason is the one that brought me into this space. He originally started talking about crypto stuff in 2017, and I went ahead and bought at the all-time high a whole bunch of stuff, and then everything dumped, and here I am now, which is better because I kept it there and now it's back. But he first started talking about CryptoKitties, and I just thought it was this sort of boys thing of collecting, and I didn't really think of the implications of it. But then he told me about this space last year, and I came and looked around, and I was like so happy because I originally, I went to art school, Ontario College of Art, in the 80s, and I mostly did video art, and my work got shown all over the world, but I never got to go with it, and I got about 50 Canadian dollars every time it got shown, which isn't really much to live on. And it's kind of discouraging because people are going, well, it's not really art because you can't hang it on your walls, and you can't, put it somewhere like a sculpture or something like that. And so I started, I happened to serendipitously get into documentary filmmaking as an editor. And then I became a director in this company. And then I started my own documentary film company and made a bunch of films. And now I sort of feel like I've come full circle. I started off as an artist, and then I went into working into documentary film. And now I'm making art again, but I'm also making a documentary film. And it was Jason's idea, or Vandall's idea, to make this film. And I just thought that's a great idea. And for me, making documentary films is a way of both learning about new things and also a really good excuse to talk to people. And we got to talk to a bunch of really amazing people in the process. Like everyone we talked to was incredible. I mean, we first started off, we were going to make this one film with about 12 people, and now it's 3 films, and we've got 45 people in the film, 13 of which, including myself, are artists. And I think the highlight for me was we are doing a collaboration specifically for the film with almost all of the artists. 2 of them aren't in the collaboration, but 10 other people and myself are. And it's so exciting to talk about art, especially with other artists. And the thing that's really different about this space in being an artist is that most artists, not like musicians, work on their own. And it's really amazing to be able to collaborate with other artists and share ideas and work together. I'm really, really enjoying it. Even though I like to say, I think this is a Matthew comment, getting artists to do things is like herding cats. So this has been my main job at the moment, is herding all the artists together to get them to, work on this thing together. So.
It's not hurting. We're not hurting the cats, Sandy. We are herding the cats. That's so cool. But you know what? Like a lot of the stuff that we're talking about here is probably what we've already spoken about, and I want to kind of go in like more of an intimate background, because a lot of us have various relationships with our parents or our children, and we don't often see or hear about these elements of the relationship in working together and doing stuff. So it's not all hunky-dory here, okay? I'll just share that. Like, it is challenging to work with my mom, and I'll be honest.
No, that's not
and this
fair.
is not Sunday Confessions with Magmaster. This is right here live now. It is challenging. But one thing that I've learned in my age old experience is to be patient and not to like burn down the house after a disagreement. So we do a lot of yelling. That is very true. We yell at each other, and then we hug and make up, and it's been a lot of fun to do this because I think we've learned a lot about each other and our relationship together, and we haven't really talked about that much. So that's why I kind of wanted to have this sort of thing, get this off my chest and that kind of thing here with everybody, so that you hear something that you probably wouldn't hear if we're just talking about the film itself. Like, we have disagreements. We like, just before this, my mom is freaking out about the images and the videos not appearing in the parcel, and everything's going crazy here. And I'm trying to figure out how to get the guest book up and add the different elements to it, and then how we're going to do the lucky draw later. And so there's a lot of moving parts, and it's stressful, but at the same time, you're right. It's the metaverse. Thank you, Angie, for bringing us back down to earth, or sorry, I should say the metaverse. And and CryptoVoxels is what it is, and we love it for being that. And I think we all understand that that's what it is. So now that I've got that off my chest, well,
I have something on my chest.
Okay, go for it.
So I might as well say it here. I already said it once before, but I'm going to say it again. When you're a parent, I don't know how many of you are parents out there, but you always see your offspring as your child. Like, they're your child, and that's it. And you're the grown-up. And even though Jason is a grown-up now, I still always saw him as my child. And it isn't actually until we started working on this together that I realized that I can't just think of him as my child anymore. He's like his own person and has his own ideas. And it's not just like, mom, I'm the mom and I know what to do and I know, how to do it and stuff like that. And we do have arguments about that sometimes, but I realized mostly out of this whole thing is that Vandall, or I call him Jason because he's my son, is his own person, and he has his own ideas, and he's equal to me. He's not my child who is below me. I think when they're little, that's kind of what you think, but it's an equal thing, and he has a lot to offer. He's taught me a lot. He really has taught me a lot, and he's been. I have gone through a lot of hard times just before I started in on this journey, and he was there all the time, even though he lives very far away in Malaysia. He came to Canada to help me. I had to move. I had a really bad breakup with my ex, and he was there for me. So I really, really appreciate everything that he's done. And even this whole thing, if I was making a documentary film, there wouldn't be this CryptoVoxels parcel. There wouldn't be access passes, because I wouldn't even know where to start to do that. And we're still having a hard go of it because there's only 2 of us right now, which is why we're selling these access passes, to be able to hire other people. But Jason has just added so much joy and happiness, even though the arguing about it is, something, but it isn't. We just hug and kiss and make up, and we're back to where we started from. And he has a lot to offer. As probably you guys all know, with everything else he's doing in this space. He's a pretty amazing son, and I'm really proud to have him as my son.
Aw, you're making me tear up, Mom. Okay, there's a love moment there. I love you, Mom.
I love you too.
And we're gonna hug. We're actually across the room from each other right now, so we'll get to that once this is all over. We're gonna have a nice big hug and celebrate, and probably
have a nap.
Yeah, something like that. Okay. Yes, we got stuff off our chest, and that is beautiful. And I guess moving forward to what we're doing now is the launch party, right? And the launch party for the Access Pass. And for those who don't know, the Access Pass is our way of raising funds to make this film happen. sooner than later, obviously, because if it's just me and my mom doing it, it's going to take a little while. So if y'all want to see the film, get an access pass. Plus, you get all kinds of goodies. And I just want to kind of bring people through what's going to happen today. I know that a lot of you are in Crypto Voxels, and that's totally awesome. And I love to see everybody there, because for the festivities later on, what's going to be happening, kicking off, I guess, after we finish up here pretty soon. I'm going to shut up after this so we can get to questions and stuff. But our launch party is going to begin. We're going to do a little introduction, not so much what we're doing now, but just a greeting and introduction. And my mom's going to do a gallery tour, and we're going to enable the second tier of the access passes for sale during the party. And then I'm going to talk about what you're able to do with these access passes, because we've got a lot of fun stuff coming up that involves farming. So all you farmers out there who want to plant your access pass seeds to watch them grow, that's going to be going on as well. So we're going to get into the details about that. And then we're going to do a lucky draw. Now I'm still trying to figure out how we're going to like show the lucky draw, because I don't want people just to take my word for it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on the Twitch on my phone. I'm going to show the screen while it's happening, do the lucky draw, because our pre-sale, the first 25 people who signed up and got our pre-sale access passes have a chance to win not only the executive producer title on the film, but also a physical framed access pass piece that will be mailed and shipped to you. So that's going to happen for our lucky draw. And then, of course, the announcements like signing the guest book. I guess if you're hearing this now, you're probably going to sign the guest book, and then you're going to see what's special about the guest book. And then we're going to screen our second promo, which is going to happen in the theater. And of course, we've got DJ Natuno all the way from Kuala Lumpur, my good buddy who holds down the fort across various servers in the Metaverse. Will be providing the music to close the show. So yeah, so I'm going to be quiet. I know we got not 10 minutes left before everything kicks off for the launch party. So I'm going to, I guess, open the floor or see if there's any questions and stuff from people.
I guess we just look in the Token Smart Discord group for questions.
Shout out Trash Lights. What's up? What's up to the NXM family, the DAO Records family in the house? Yeah, Gat. What's up, Gat? Yeah, cool. I don't know if I can scroll through all these things. Does anyone have questions or anything, or stuff they want to know about us or anything like that? We are here in the chat. I'm in the chat right now, so can answer questions and stuff. Or if Matthew or Rizzle or Show or anybody else has questions. Yep.
Dude, happy to take questions from the audience, man. Yo, I just sincerely wanted to thank both of you for a question from the audience. Can you adopt me, Gemini Rising? No, yo, wanted to seriously thank you guys both for that really genuine, heartfelt conversation, man. I feel like everyone felt that, and Gemini Rising, it's such an amazing story to hear how you ended up at this point, from earlier on in the career. Wait, we got some questions flying in here. Gat, so some joke questions. Some people want you over Thanksgiving. Anyway, just wanted to thank you very, very much for all that. If you guys need some time to set up and there are not questions, we can throw on some music and get the party started for you. But we got Gat here in the audience asking if you can give a description of the process of making the film.
Okay, it's still in process. We're the first phase was really okay, who do we want to talk to? Who are the various people in the space? What artists? We had this. There were a lot of arguments about this as well. Who might, who should be included, who shouldn't. We don't want to exclude anybody, but there's only so much we can handle. If we could stop and interview everybody in the space, that would be totally awesome. There were people who reached out and wanted to be in the film, and unfortunately some of them were a bit too late. There were people that we reached out to who we never got a reply from. So we wanted to have certain people who weren't in. But yeah, it's been a process, and we're still at the point where we've got all the interviews done. We've got a lot of sort of the various elements that we're including in that. There's transcribing that still needs to be done. There's a collaboration in process that my mom is doing with the other artists in the film. That's in progress. So now we're moving into more sort of post-production. And yes, okay, speaking about that, Sandy, is that this documentary is not just like a one-parter. We have so much amazing footage from people and interviews that we've decided to make it into 3 parts. But the main stuff is coming at the beginning here because, as my mom had explained earlier, making a film, you want to look at the entire body of footage first and then assemble how it's going to look and then divide that up into parts. So that's where we're at now.
Yeah,
and the fundraising, of course.
I can just tell you a little bit about my process in actually making documentaries from the other ones that I've made. Is like, you start off with an idea and then you collect all the interviews and visuals and stuff like that. And then you kind of spread them all out and it's just like a giant puzzle. You just move things around and build the story from the puzzle pieces you have. And this is like the biggest puzzle that I've ever worked on because there are so many people that we've interviewed. So it's a lot more daunting. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night worrying about how am I going to, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? I don't, it's just, but I have please trust me when I said that because I have done it before. And, I have made documentaries and they've won awards and, that kind of stuff. So it's not like I don't know what I'm doing, but this is just sometimes overwhelming for me because there's just so much information. Plus, on top of everything else, things change so much here that they, like the people we interviewed at the beginning, like the things have changed so much. I mean, while we were filming, it was just right when the Beeple drop happened and when Ethereum started going through the ceiling. And so it's like this is constant change. And like I keep thinking, oh my God, we're not going to get it. We're not going to get it. By the time we finish it, it's going to be too late. It's going to be, like that's already been done. And, so, but anyway, we're just kind of plodding along and we're really grateful to all the people that have already bought an Access Pass because, and people who will buy an Access Pass because it's going to help us immensely because we can hire people to help us with this because 2 people, it's pretty hard, especially since the last week we've taken off just to, get this thing ready, which is just sort of the introduction to the Access Pass and also to our promo piece, which I'm quite proud of. And on that note, the promo piece, we are gifting a minted promo piece to everybody who has participated in this film. So there will be 45 promo pieces that will be minted and being given to all the people that are included in the film, which are artists, collectors, platforms, and advocates and critics of the space.
And also, I can't forget to shout out Mohini.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your support and help with this as well. I think this is like what we're trying to do is get more people involved who can help out. So if you are listening and let's say you've got, editing skills and you want to participate and, you want to get involved in the film in any way as possible, please do reach out to us. It would be really nice to work with other people in this space who understand it. I think that's pretty key on my perspective. And
it would also be great to have somebody who is good at promotion and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we'll get to we'll get that also. No worries. We've got all the pieces of the puzzle there ready to go. It's just a matter of getting the funds and then putting the plan into action. So that's where we are, and we truly appreciate the support of the WIP, the whole WIP fam, and everybody in here. Like this place is nothing without the community. Yes, Paradox, much love. Yeah, no doubt. And yeah, so like the community is everything. That's how I feel, and we're super, we feel blessed really to be a part of it and to actively be also a part of creating more community around video artists getting into the space and hoping that we'll be able to facilitate funding for artists entering the space when people watch the film and they get inspired and they want to get do some NFTs, then they know where to go and all that. So that's super exciting for us. Are there any other questions?
The community is pretty amazing. Love you guys.
Hey, Sandy was asking if there are still early access passes available for 0.15 ETH, or what the availability situation is with those.
Okay, so we've closed our pre-sale already, and we didn't sell all 25. We've sold 19 of the 25, so we still have 6 left from that. But we're still not sure exactly what we're going to do. I wanted to put a vote out.
You've dropped off. Can anybody hear what he's saying? Because he's dropped off from me.
Can you hear me?
Now, yes.
Vandall just came.
Now I can.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, no, I don't know what I missed, but access past the first tier, access past the pre-sale has already been closed. But we want to kind of get feedback from the community as to what we should do with the remaining passes, because we sold 19 out of the 25, and we've got 6 left. So to make an executive decision, I think that after we finished our second part of the sale, and then we go to sort of the public sale after this, then we'll figure it out and we'll ask the community what they want to do with it. Maybe this is something that we allocate to the DAO. I'm not sure. But today, access passes at the party are going to be 0.2 ETH.
That's not that much more.
It's not that much more, and we'll figure out what to do with the remaining ones after this as well. If there are any remaining after today, we'll figure it out. And then don't forget to join our mailing list, because that's how people got involved in the pre-sale. And we've got a lot more stuff coming through that as well, through the mailing list. So if you haven't, just hit our website, iwantmynft.com, hop on the mailing list, sign our guest book. There's some goodies. I know I gave it away. I hope all the goodies get snatched up quickly. But there's some goodies with the guest book. So don't sleep on the guest book in CryptoVoxels if you want some goodies.
Yeah. Yeah. Sign the guest book. It's that lime green thing that I sort of built in Magic of Voxels. I didn't do a really good job, but anyway, it's there. It says guest book in my decrepit handwriting in the right-hand corner if you're facing the screen.
I don't think my mom has ever used Magic of Voxels before, and she created a little billboards things and a guest book, so that's pretty cool.
and the
yes,
table.
Joe, yeah, the guest book is a different one from the WIP. It's at the front of our lobby parcel, near the right door on the right hand side. You can't miss it.
Near my NFT, actually, it's in that corner there.
Yeah,
so.
we'll do the walkthrough as well once we kick off in the parcel.
Okay, so does anybody have any other questions? Or sorry, Jason, did you want to say something?
No, that's fine. Yeah, that's cool. I'm good.
Yeah, and the WIP guest book is inside of the theater. So, and that in the theater is where we'll be showing the promo piece, which I'm quite happy with. So, yeah, the WIP guest book is different than our guest book. Our guest book is lime green, which is in the corner there, the right-hand corner if you're facing outside, right hand of the door. and the WIP guest book is in the theater itself. Stevie, like, oh, you're not Hidden Forces, you're not in CryptoVoxel? Oh, he's got it. Okay, never mind. Okay, so any other questions? Anybody, or should we just stop? It's already 1:03, so we kind of made it through this.
Okay, so I'm just going to double check the. Whoa, who's it? There's someone with massive, a massive. What is that? A fox or a dog? There's some foxes in here. It's massive foxes.
There's
Who
a
brought
giant
the foxes
squirrel.
to the party? Everybody's at the guest book. So that must mean that the guest book is working.
Yeah, good.
Yes, get your goodies.
I think they're squirrels.
Cool. They're squirrels. Yeah, they are squirrels.
Yeah.
That's cool. People brought squirrels to the party. Thanks for coming, squirrels. We
It's
love
a good thing my dogs can't see you, squirrels, or you'd be in big trouble now.
Cool. So, hey, Matthew or Rizzle, if you guys want to just drop some music up in here while we get everything set up inside CryptoVoxels, and I figure out how we're going to do this lucky draw and stuff, that would be awesome. And then I'll be back on here. You can play whatever you want, man. No requests from my side. Maybe the community wants to drop some requests in there, but I'm cool with whatever.
I think we'll just be a couple of minutes anyway.
Yeah, and we'll be. I think what we're going to do is we're going to continue talking and have all of the audio run through here in TokenSmart, and then Dragonate will have Dragonate. Are you? Maybe we can do a screen share. I don't know if that's possible. Maybe someone can do a screen share in here, or not. Just come into CryptoVoxels for the visuals and stay on TokenSmart for the audio, and then we'll run it like that, and should be good. So I'm going to sign off here, put myself on mute, and then we'll catch you in a bit.
I queue up some Mars beats, but I don't
That's
hear
your
him. Does
cue,
anyone
man.
else hear him?
What are you gonna? Exactly. Nah, I don't hear. Well, maybe that's what music sounds like on Mars. Silence.
Oh, true. Wait, to someone else? Someone's saying this isn't me. Oop, there we go.
There we go.
Now I hear the Mars beat. All right, couple minutes, y'all. Sign the guest book. Get your co-op. Click the thing. Whatever you gotta do, and make sure you're in CV. We'll drop the link again for CV so you guys can hop in and catch the preview. And just one more point of clarification: you got 2 guest books. 2 guest books. 2 guest books. Is that on beat? All right, 2 guest books. One of them didn't see me. You got to get it. I'm filling it out now, so I'm not going to pay attention to you guys for a second, but I'll be right back.
All right. Okay, I guess we can start it off. Can you guys hear me okay? Just double checking that I'm in here.
Yes.
Yeah?
I can hear you.
Sounds great,
Okay,
dude.
awesome. All right. So thank you, WIP. That it was an awesome WIP, and we're so happy to be doing the post party, the after party, the launch party for our Access Pass token for I Want My NFT Part 1, created by myself, Vandall, and my wonderful mother, Gemini Rising. And this is our first sort of real like party in our theater that we designed here in the metaverse in Crypto Voxels. And just sent the tweet out to everybody to let everybody know to come through. If you're listening in the Discord server, just hit the link into Crypto Voxels and join us at the Flix Theater. So as I mentioned, today what's happening is we are launching our Access Pass. This is the Party Pass, the Launch Party Access Pass, which is our mid-tier price pass, going for 0.2 of an Ethereum. Now, I haven't enabled yet the signboards in here with the Access Pass as you move your way into the theater, as well as in the theater at the back of the theater. They aren't enabled yet because I'm still ensuring that all the Access Passes are ready to go inside OpenSea, so that you can click through and collect your Access Pass. That will be happening shortly after the introduction here from me. But I would like to let you know what we're going to be up to today during the party. And I know I mentioned it earlier, but I'm going to mention it again. And as soon as I am able to pull it up here we go. Okay, so we are, this is the kickoff. This is the introduction. This is the welcome speech and greeting. And we're really excited to do it. It's been a whirlwind of craziness of things that have been happening, just getting everything ready for this. And it hasn't gone exactly as planned. Gas has made this a major issue, that parts of what we're wanting to do with the Access Pass will be slightly delayed till gas is more favorable for all of us. But with that said, we are going to move in a bit to the first part of the event, which is a gallery tour. So we're going to get a guided tour of all the pieces in the gallery from Gemini Rising. And she'll talk about each piece and the artists, and maybe, share a little, maybe an experience or something with our conversations with the artists. I don't know. She's going to figure it out, but that's going to be coming up next. Then after that, we'll be enabling all of our Access Passes for sale. So you'll be able to click through at the party on any of the sort of billboards where you'll see an image of an Access Pass with a silver border on it. So that's where you'll be clicking shortly after the guided tour. Then they will think we'll go on sale then. And then I'll talk about what exciting things that you'll be able to do with your Access Pass and what you can get. And then following that will be a lucky draw. So like I mentioned earlier, we're going to go into the theater room, and then I'll be switching over the stream shortly inside the theater room to another Twitch, where I'll be showing live on my screen who's going to win the lucky draw, and also the winner of the lucky draw from our pre-sale, right? So if you were in on our pre-sale, your ETH addresses will be entered in the lucky draw. So I'll call out your ETH addresses. I'm not going to dox anybody. I will just say the ETH address that wins, the first 4 alphanumerics and the last 4 alphanumerics. You might know it's yours or not, I don't know. But you will know eventually. And then the winner of the lucky draw is going to receive an executive producer credit on the film, as well as a physical Access Pass that will be framed and sent to their door. So you get to, have that for all time, or as long as the battery lasts. I hope that's a long time. But yeah, so then the Access Pass, the lucky draw. And then, of course, now I can tell everybody, go sign a guest book. I'm pretty sure they're already on that. Our Access Pass guest book is in the front right corner facing the exit into onto the street in the front lobby parcel. It's green color. You can't miss it. It's probably got a lot of people hovering around it at the moment. And then After that, we're going to be screening our second promo, and this is an amazing promo. My mom has put like her heart and soul into it. It is, I like to call it the art is promo, because that is the question we want to find out from people, like what is art to them, and we asked it in a challenging way, and you'll see that once it's there and ready for the screening. And I will kind of guide you through the process because it's a YouTube video, so most likely you'll have to click on the screen or once it's ready. So everyone will be watching it kind of at their own time. So we'll give a bit of time for that. And then following that, we've got my buddy Natuno Blue, all the way from Kuala Lumpur. He's got a DJ set lined up for you with awesome music. And then, yeah, and then we're going to wrap it up. So we should be wrapped up by about 3 o'clock, I think. But I think our timing is impeccable, Mom. I'm going to hand the mic over to you so you can start the gallery tour.
The gallery tour. Okay. Yeah. I just noticed that Angie, who is one of the people here today, his thing has disappeared again. A lot of these I actually just uploaded to my Dropbox, and then my Dropbox conked out. I made a new Dropbox, and Angie's piece was there. And now to me, I don't know if anyone else can see it. It's in the right hand or left hand corner if you're facing the theater door. Has disappeared. I just asked Angie for a link. Oh, okay. So it's just me. Okay, good. It's only me.
Yeah, I think this is going to happen. I think people might want to refresh if there are things they can't see. It's going to be hard for us to kind of live edit the parcel and stuff. But yeah, just
all right.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Go for it.
I'm going to start in the corner, the Matt Cain side corner here. All the people that are on the walls are artists that are featured in our film, and most of them, except for Ferocious and Robert Alice, are with doing the collaboration, which is also going to be part of the film. So we're creating something pretty amazing, I think, especially considering the amazing artists we have here. So I'm over here in the corner, starting off with the Matt Cain piece, which is which is one of my favorite pieces, and I mean he's does a lot of amazing stuff. I'm sure everybody's heard of Matt. If you zoom into this drawing, you can keep zooming in and zooming in and zooming in, and there are so many interesting things to see just by zooming in. Matt created his own program to make this art. He's an amazing physical painter as well, and he went off and studied programming, and so that he could actually have his own program, like not Photoshop or anything like that, to make his art. And I just love Matt's work. And I have to say, all of the artists in here, I basically picked because I like their work. I love what they're doing. Every one of them is, they're all different, but they're all special. And just imagine all these different artworks all together in making one whole piece is just going to be incredible. So above Matt is Bart Ianson, and he does a lot of AI stuff. So which I find really amazing too, because and time consuming. I think it's almost like animating or something. You have to, load all of these images in to create new images. And so that's what he's done with these crucifixes. And I really like, he also does oscilloscope art, which I had never heard about before, which is also pretty incredible to turn an oscilloscope into a piece of art. Is pretty amazing. Right beside them is Lawrence. Lawrence is, I have to say this, he's going to kill me, but Lawrence is the only person that's older than me in this space. Lawrence has been around for quite a long time. This actual drawing is something that really drew me to him. He used to be a physical painter. He lives in the Southwest. And I just love this piece that he did here. I love the fact, and it makes so much sense to me because I think all that, he's from Arizona and that all used to be an ocean at one time. So it makes sense to me. I don't know about anybody else, but beside that is Giselle. And I actually bought this piece from Giselle. I wish I could buy everybody's pieces, but sometimes I won't have any money left if I buy everybody's work. I'm hoping one of these days I'll be able to buy it. She does some incredible work as well. I love this piece, which is why I bought it. She used to do a lot of in-camera work. I think she's doing more video and editing, and this one's mine. So that's about the only one that's mine so far. But and beside her, and I'm sure you guys have all heard of all of these people, is Osinachi. And as you probably know, he makes his work out of Microsoft Word program. And he really is good at portraying his culture and his beliefs. And I love his work too. Like I said, I'm just going to keep gushing about how many people's work I love. Beside him is Coldy. Coldy does a lot of 3D stuff, and this is one of his pieces called Edward Snowden. And I think I'm not sure, but I think he gave out pieces where people could create their sort of, or sold pieces where people could create their own portraits of things. And he also has a very unique style. Next to him is Ferocious, and he is probably one of the youngest people in the space that is a working artist. He has an amazing story. He's had a very hard life, and he's so happy and grateful. And I wish him all the best. He's doing really well. He's managed to move out of a very bad situation and fend for himself and do what he wants to do, and another just amazing artist. So if we go over to the other side, as I run through everybody, we have Sparrow. I love Sparrow. She's one of the people that actually helped bring me into the artist space. She does a lot of AI stuff, but she also paints in real life, mostly encaustic stuff, and I love encaustic paintings. I always say that I'd love to eat them. But Sparrow is a pretty amazing person. I'm sure everyone has heard of Sparrow. She does a lot of work for the community and is really great at supporting other artists. And I love her work too. Then there's Josie, who was one of the first artists who it has a graphic design background and has a very strong message around Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff, is what most of her work focuses on. Beside her is Barbara Bazina, who is from Argentina. I saw her work on, I think it was Rarible, and she has some amazing stuff too. It's very painterly, but does it all digitally, and it's the colors and the vibrancy of her stuff is just wonderful. This one I can't see, but I was assured that other people can see it. Angie is in the house. She does a lot of 3D, and Angie actually helped with the design of our access pass. She basically fixed up my mess. So I'm really grateful to her. A piece, The Day the World Turns Dayglow, you can actually move it around yourself. I'm not too 3D is just going to kill me one of these days, but her work is really fun. She comes from a sculptural background, and you can really see it in the things that she's been doing in this space. Right beside her is Robert Alice, who is actually a conceptual physical artist, and these pieces are physical pieces, portraits of a mind. He did 21 pieces, and they represent Bitcoin, blockchain. He was one of the first artists to sell on Christie's in the traditional market, and kind of brought a lot of focus onto this space. And if you go to his website, robertallis.com, you can look at the close-up of these things, because there's all of the code is etched into those round discs. So it's pretty incredible, and they look like they weigh a ton, and they're placed all over the world now. Different collectors have bought them. And then right here in this corner, beside the guest book, is my work, Gemini Rising, which I'm honored to be able to show along with everybody else's stuff. I really am. It sort of comes from I really like things that move. So it comes from my background as a video artist. Compared to this other stuff, I think I have to polish up a bit more, but I am so pleased to be in this space. So pleased to be talking to other artists and who are sort of on the same wavelength as I am, who not only are artists, but know about the blockchain and NFTs and this space. So yeah, that's it. I'm the last one in this corner, Dark Angel. And if you haven't signed the guest book, go ahead and sign it. Jason, do you have, are you ready to do the draw? Is that what we're doing next?
Almost. Yeah, no, I think that's fine. This right now, I've just gotten the access passes enabled in the venue. So if you're in the venue, you can already click directly on the little, I guess the small billboards, placards, stands that are in front of the steps right here where I'm hovering. I'll just type it in. Access passes are clickable. Awesome. So you can click through, and actually you can, they should work. You let me know if they're working or not. If they are, you can click through, and then you can get yourself an access pass and support what we're doing with the film. We have 25 access passes available, right? Yep, they should be clickable. We've got 25 access passes available at 0.2 Ethereum. Now, there are a lot of things that we're planning to do, not just with the money that we make to make the film, but also through our social token, which we haven't spoken much about just yet. But I would like to kind of get into that and let you know, the current situation with our access pass and what you're going to be able to do with it. So we've teamed up with item.eth. This is ETH Item, and they have a super cool farming mechanism for NFTs. So we are going to have NFTs totally farmable. All of our NFTs that we have for access passes will be farmable. Now, given the current gas situation, we haven't minted the farmable NFTs yet. So what we have here are, I don't want to call them placeholders, but these are your passes to the extra goodies, which include the farmable official access pass, the one that's animated and spins around and looks totally awesome. You'll get one of those airdropped to you, provided that you're holding this access pass in your wallet. And then you will also get some Flix tokens as a special thank you for the airdrop. Now, if you've already had a chance to fill out the guest book, we've got a bunch of Flix tokens, which is our social token, which I'll explain in a minute about. You'll have access to those. They were created with Roll. Big shout out to Miles, who's also in the film. So we've been focusing a lot on the artist today, which I think is important because we are here. Yes, Bradley Miles. I don't want to call him Miles. Bradley Miles, Mr. Miles. Yes, thank you, Mom. Appreciate that. I'm super excited about the possibilities of what we can do with these access passes and utilizing them, putting them to use for farming and earning Flix tokens. So we have a set amount of Flix tokens. There are 1.8 million Flix tokens that we've set aside for all of our supporters, such as yourselves and people who are picking up access passes. And we'll be allocating a large amount of that to the farming. So you'll be able to go to covenant.eth. Later on, I'll be putting together a document that we'll be sharing with everybody on how to farm them. And this is coming over the next couple of days or so. So if you have an access pass and wondering what you're going to be able to do with it, hopefully you're here listening to me explain it. And if my explanation is not good enough, we are going to have an article that does explain it even better, so that it's clear for everyone who can understand what farming is all about if you don't already know. Then, as well as not just the farming element, but you will be able to collect an NFT moment of the film. And this is a clip, an actual video clip of the film, minted as an NFT specifically for you. As a collector of an access pass. There are 100 access passes available in total, and we will have 100 clips of the film. And this is part one, okay? So not the whole film, not the entire 3-part series, but this first part, which is coming out first, hopefully, Mum, at the end of the summer. Yes, we hope so. That's our goal.
If we can hire more people, it'll be faster.
We will.
Yeah.
We're already on our way. And our pre-sale is definitely helping with that. And today, the launch party as well should be an additional help. So I've mentioned the farming, and I've mentioned the moment, the NFT moment of the film. Now, all purchasers of the access passes also get an associate producer credit on the film, which I think is super exciting. And we've, of course, got membership for our coming DAO, which is going to be the Flix DAO, which will be the governing body of our Flix token and the community that we plan to grow through this. Now, of course, we're busy running around doing everything for the film. But now that once this is over, we're going to be setting up the next phase, which is, as if you've had a chance to read our white paper, it will be setting up the DAO and setting up the community so that people can get involved. If you know video artists, people interested in doing music videos, any video or film content, and people along those lines, this is what we want to do this for, and for the community. And the film itself, the 3 parts of the film, I Want My NFT, is a use case to show how you can actually create a production or a film not following the traditional way of approaching broadcasters, getting your funding, tax credits and whatever other sort of government, depending on where you are in the world, support or various other things that you would traditionally do. Now, I'm not the filmmaker, my mom is, but yeah, so that's essentially what you can get with the access pass. I'm not sure if I missed anything, but everything is in our white paper and in our access pass document, which is on our Scent profile. So if you go to Scent and you just type, I want my NFT, or you go to our website, you can click through to the blog. You can read up on all this stuff afterward. So yeah, I think I've covered everything that I needed to cover for the access pass. They are clickable. We do appreciate your support. I know gas is now dropped to 97, which it will make things a bit cheaper for you if you want to come and support us for purchasing an access pass. And and we're really excited to move things to the next phase here in our launch party. And I think we're getting on 1:30, so our timing is going pretty good. Let me just pull it up. Yeah. Okay, so 1:30 is the lucky draw. Woo! All right. Okay, so I'm going to ask everybody to make their way into the theater. All right. So I'm in the theater now, and I will be swapping out, just for now, guys, okay? I'm going to be swapping out the token smart to put in just the DAO records one real quickly. So there, okay. So we've got If you need a refresh, do a refresh. I think it should just refresh automatically for everybody here. Okay, so I'm going to go live, and let's just do this. I'm going to put myself on pause. Mum, if you want to kind of take over on mic duties while I go live here. My hair's a mess, but we're going to do it. All right, I'm going live.
On the screen, it says offline. Of course, now my mouse has run out of power, and I'm not used to not using a mouse, so excuse me. Yeah, I'm supposed to talk to you guys. Oh, okay. I could tell you a little story while he's getting that ready. It is about the MTV logo, and when we saw it, with the first time I think I saw it, we were in Guatemala. We drove all the way to Guatemala from Toronto at the time. My boyfriend, Jason, and myself drove all the way through Mexico, the States, all the way down to Guatemala. And we were in this small little village where there was mostly native people there. And there was this cafe, and like all of, the tourists and everything were in the cafe, but there were these big windows, and all these little native kids, these Guatemalans, were sitting outside looking through the window at MTV. And I just thought it was so strange that, here's this, big American MTV program, I Want My MTV. And these kids just looking through the window, probably none of them had their own television, and seeing the outside world probably for one of the first times, because this was in the early 80s. And it was just, yeah, I want my NFT, MTV, NFT. I'm so used to saying NFT. So yeah, it was a pretty strange cultural moment to see, these tourists sitting inside the cafe with all these, little native people looking through the window and totally in awe with all these music videos and stuff like that. So that's my sort of strong recollection of that MTV logo that we might get sued over, but who knows about that? We'll see. I had first removed it, then I changed it back again, and we're going to take our chances. Somebody said, if we get sued by MTV, at least we'll have a lot of, coverage, and so there. Okay, now I got to think of more things to talk about. Oh, there he is. Okay, I think, is that you, Jason? Okay,
Yeah,
there
that's
he
me.
is.
Hey, what's
All right,
up?
I can stop
What's up,
talking
everybody? Yeah. Okay. So I figured
can't
this
hear
is the
you.
best way to do it.
No.
You can't hear me?
Can anybody else hear Jason?
Why? Should be able to hear me.
Can you guys hear him?
Okay. Can you hear me? All right.
No, they
no,
can't
you
hear
can't
you.
hear me. Okay. I don't know. Okay. So, okay.
Okay.
Can you be my guide?
I'm going to be his guide, because I'll just do some lip reading, I guess.
No, I want to, where is it?
I can hear you now. We
Hold
can hear
on.
you.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to find.
That's our balcony.
Oh, you can hear me. Okay. Cool.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Lucky draw. Now I wanted this to be very transparent with everybody. So we've got 19 people here who purchased the pre-sale, and I'm going to tap to spin, and we are going to have our winner. Let's go. Woo! All right, here we go. Who's it going to be? Oh, there it goes. Okay, we've got our winner. There you go. there's your Ethereum address. If I'm not mistaken, I think I know this one. I think I know who this is because I've been, dealing with the Ethereum addresses all day. But there you have it, everybody. We have our winner. You're going to be, notified. I can't say who it is yet. I don't know. I have to verify it with something. But I'll get on. I'll do that. Mom, you take over. I'm going to switch the screens back. I just wanted to do this as transparent as possible for everybody tuned in for the Access Pass, and the pre-sale lucky draw. So there it is. There's the lucky draw. We have our winner. And then I'll get back on shortly and we can swap over the screen again and get ready for the Access Pass. What is it? The promo. The art is promo. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to sign off here. We got our winner.
So you want me to take over? What am I saying? Does anybody have any questions or anything? The first part of the film is going to be finished by the end of August, hopefully. And then the next two parts will come out not that soon, not that late afterwards, like maybe the September, October, November, December. So by the end of the year, all three parts will be available, hopefully. Now I'm getting an echo as well. I think it's anyway. Questions. Did you get to travel? No. This is the one thing we did not get to travel. Usually when I make documentary films, I get to travel all over the world. I mean, I did a documentary about child soldiers in Uganda, and I got to go to Uganda. The last, I've been basically all over the world to film stuff, but this time mainly because of the cost and because of COVID, we didn't get to travel. So we shot everything on Zoom. All the interviews are on Zoom. I've been recording the the artists' collaboration on Zoom, and also our sort of conversations between myself and Jason are being recorded. But no, I did not get to travel. I feel bad about that, but yeah, that's it. Any other questions that could keep me occupied? I think Jason's got the promo up already. That's the beginning of it. That's Osinachi for people who don't know. Is it ready to be shown, or should I wait? Oh, okay, he's coming. Just hold on a second. Yeah, no more questions.
Here we go. I'm back.
Okay, there, he's back.
Okay, so I figure if anybody's in the room right now, they're probably clicking away and watching the promo. So just come on in to the theater. The promo is up and it's ready to be watched. And I'm just going to let's just be quiet. It's about 6 minutes long, so we're going to be quiet for a little bit. So enjoy the promo, everybody.
Yeah, just click on the screen and you will be able to watch it, hopefully. Is that working, Jason? Okay. All right. There's no sound. Okay, you have to unmute your browser if you want to hear it.
Yeah, unmute your browser tab if you want to be able to hear the audio. Okay, you can mute your mic, Mom.
Art is life.
Art is love.
Art is soul.
Art is everything.
Art is a gift that keeps on giving.
Art is culture.
Art is about experimentation.
Art is provocative.
Art is awesome.
El arte, en una palabra para mí, es magia.
Art is being human.
Art is God's gift.
To me, art is a form of, I like to call it existential joy.
art is that specific spark, that moment of creation where the artist comes up with the idea.
Art is creation.
Art is creativity.
Art is a creative expression.
Art is self-discovery.
Art is an avenue to let your mind free and to invite other people inside.
Art, to me, is freedom.
Art is inspiration.
Inspiration.
Art is the combination of new ideas.
Art is an idea made visual.
Art to me is pushing the bounds and trying to figure out what we can do in the physical and digital world past the things we've already done a million times.
Oh, that's difficult. Because there's two words. It's creativity. Art is creativity, and art is expression.
Art is an expression of the truth.
Art is the purest form of human expression.
Art is expression.
The oldest form of expression.
Creative expression.
Expression.
It's expression.
It's expression.
Art is the ash left from the flame of expression.
Art is the way of communicating all of the things that we don't have words for yet.
Art is a form of communication.
Communication. Anything that communicates something.
This is a really tough question. I would say that art is something that you can be seen or felt, or one of your senses. I would say that it should evoke some sort of emotion.
Emotional connection in a person. That is what art is to me.
Yeah, art is an emotion.
Art is emotional. Art is emotion.
I'd say that art is a feeling.
I don't know what art is, but I'll tell you what it does. For me, art takes me to places I can reach no other way.
We should shoot an ending. I mean, everybody's talked about it, we've talked about it, but it's just, not, like, don't you think we should make a summary or something?
Well, Let's do it.
Okay.
There.
Oh no, I
What?
left it on again.
Really, Mom?
Yeah.
Oh well. I guess this is the ending.
Well, it's going to be a very good film no matter what.
There you go. Yeah, we had to.
I can't hear you again.
Okay, talk for.
Now you can, now we can.
Oh.
Okay.
Uh,
No, it's gone again. Okay. I'm supposed to talk because why don't you
Right.
come over here? Oh,
Can you hear me?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. So for those who are, came in late to the parcel and who are still watching, thank you for watching. My mom worked really hard on putting this promo together, and I bear witness and to that process and everything. And the last bit was just something fun we wanted to throw in there. Add a comedic twist. If you've seen our first promo, then you probably know the various banter that my mom and I have. So yeah,
I
we just
will openly admit that I'm not a camera person. So
it's okay. Yeah, but nonetheless, with Zoom, we don't have to worry about cameras and all that kind of thing. So yes, so that was our second official promo. It's still on, what is it called? Unlisted.
yes,
So
it's unlisted
that's
on YouTube.
that's just because we want everybody here to be able to watch it first and share it with all of you, and we appreciate like all of you for being here. Really, this means so much to us, just to see the support from the community, and all the beautiful avatars, and people with I'm seeing here people with t-shirts on their faces, and shout out to Boombox Head, Space Painter, Bitcoin Madam, Uncle Bitcoin, MK Dragon. There's a lot of people here. Dead Polaroid. I'm just going through. Foxy Yoga. What's up? Mohini. How's it going? Porsche. Yes. Rizzle. The whole WIP fam. Boombox Head. Sandy Meows. Everybody. Thank you so much. You're super appreciated, and like we're really honored. Like. I mean, I don't think that I've been even in this space long enough to be considered an OG or anything like that. So those who, do think I am, there are real OGs in this space, and a lot of them are, not all, but the ones that we could get were featured in the film as well. So we truly appreciate you. And we've got coming up next, Natuno Blue, all the way from Malaysia, who's going to be dropping a DJ set for everybody. So I know that he's standing by to stream. So I'm going to just get him to come on in. I'm going to switch the screen up. I'm going to give you a few more minutes if you're watching before we switch it up. So let's say in about 5 more minutes of watching, if anybody is still watching or clicking. If not, I'm sorry if we cut you off. You can't really share YouTube links in the CryptoVoxels chat. Unfortunately, links are unclickable and unpastable or anything. But in the Discord, we'll share the link to the video, our promo video. Or it is.
I have done it
Okay.
a lot already. I see you've put the other video back up there. Is that what you wanted to do?
No, I put it back up. No,
No,
I
you
think
put
that
the
when it
old one.
ends, No, when it ends, that's what it shows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. But yeah, thanks so much, everybody. We're gonna continue and get the party flowing. I'm just gonna let Natuno know that we are ready. And yeah, so sorry if you're still watching. I'm gonna switch it up. Look in the Discord and get the link to the YouTube so you can watch it on your own. We appreciate you so much. Yep, Gemini Rising just painted it again.
No painting, pasting.
Did I say painting?
Yeah,
pasting?
you did. You said painted.
Yeah, okay. I think that's beautiful. We're going to paint it in the Discord, okay?
Yes,
It's there. We've painted it. It's been minted.
There you go.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to swap out the screen now, and we're going to get Natuno Blue in here. He's going to be broadcasting from our DAO Records channel on Twitch, and then bubba boom, there we go. I'm going to put it on autoplay so everybody can get in there, and hopefully Natuno, yep, he's ready to go. So
is this linked to the Discord, this music?
No, I'll put the link in the Discord as well. I'm going to share the Twitch link with everybody. If you're in, Natuno Blue is I believe he's live. Let me just unmute CryptoVoxels for a second.
I don't hear anything in CryptoVoxels.
Okay. All right. He'll be live in a minute. Big shout out to Natuno Blue. If you guys are in like the Whale Discord and Token Smart, Natuno's been super active. He's such a wonderful human being. And I can't wait to get back to Malaysia to hang out with him some more. So stand by. Natuno Blue will be coming up with the tunes. And don't forget, our Access Pass is available. It's here. Just click through on the little billboards with the silver outline. You'll see the pass there. It's available on OpenSea. So yeah, stand by for Natuno. All right, everyone. Thanks a lot.
And you still get lots of goodies with the second tier Access Pass, which is also a really good price for everything that you get. So thanks so much, everybody, for supporting us here. We really appreciate it.